Hey, what's up, nerds? It's Paul at Radio Free Hammer Hall. Just doing like a kind of hobby planning stream of consciousness type of thing. Um, I the old world has only been out for like a couple of months, and I'm already tossing around ideas for second army since I've just been absolutely plowing through my Warriors of Chaos and yeah, I guess I'm just looking for more to do and you know, expanding my horizons as far as armies. So right now I've got dropped my laptop there. I've got other armies for Age of Sigmar that could kind of get converted over to the old world that more or less for different reasons, kind of not really planning on using that much for Age of Sigmar. So that is Empire and Skaven. Now, I had been using Empire for a long time for Cities of Sigmar until we got to this point now where um, that whole model line really got trashed out of the Cities of Sigmar range and is really just old world now, and so it just doesn't seem like it doesn't aesthetically fit with Age of Sigmar at all anyway, and all of the units just don't quite fit right into, like, they don't slot in that great. And the other that army, Skaven. Now, I love Skaven. I've actually always loved Skaven, even in Age of Sigmar, except important exception is that it's fundamentally a horde army. In Age of Sigmar or in the old world Warhammer Fantasy, you want to bring like big units of clan rats, right? Um, it is awful trying to move units of 40 around when you don't have a movement tray, and I really don't think movement trays really work well in Age of Sigmar. So despite really loving the army in general in Age of Sigmar, um it's the state of things just makes me not want to play them. So I kind of went through and took inventory of what I've got and what I might need just to get some ideas of like what my direction might be. I'm not really going to make any sorts of moves on this until we get a look at the new edition of Age of Sigmar. If I happen to like really want one of these two armies in there, I'll probably reserve them for that. But in either case, I'm particularly tentative on Skaven for two reasons. Number one, they're getting a big new release with fourth edition Age of Sigmar, and the second being they are a legacy army in the old world. So I don't really know what the future of them looks like. If they end up getting um, a lot of their line axed and not like just replaced with new sculpts for Age of Sigmar, that will definitely be extra incentive to move that over to the old world. Um, and again, if we're still staying on this whole like giant hordes being the thing sort of play style, I just can't see myself doing that in Age of Sigmar. And really, I feel like the Empire always was cooler with your big uh, units of great swords and swordsmen and halberdiers and all of that stuff. So I'm hesitant to even keep them for Age of Sigmar. And so I think this one's very likely. It's going to depend a little bit on how Cities of Sigmar ends up looking. But yeah, so I guess we'll just start kind of going through stuff. Characters. This is like the Empire was my first army in Warhammer in general. So I also have gone just absolutely bananas over time on eBay, picking up models and cool stuff. So, one thing I've got a million of is human characters. Just endless supply of dudes on foot and dudes on horses, tons of the like old metal models, uh, BSBs, got plenty of those on foot and on horse. I still have a couple of Pegasi kicking around from uh, early Age of Sigmar when that was still a thing. I just kind of never got rid of those guys. I do have two guys on Griffins. I did actually make a hero on a Demigriff for Age of Sigmar, even though that's not really a thing. The direction I was starting to take my Cities of Sigmar army when the model line changed was to use Demigriffs for um, all of my Free Guild Cavaliers and Cavalier Marshal. So right now he's a Cavalier Marshal on a Demigriff as opposed to just being on a horse. Like not, it's just an aesthetic difference, but that's definitely a thing that he could easily come over. Um, Technically don't have BSB Demigriff yet, but I do still have another Demigriff on Sprue and plenty of bits to make another BSB. So that I'm not worried about. If I want to do that, I can. I don't really know even about the necessity of that. Haven't really played around with lists too much, and depending on the army, I'm not even really sure how necessary all of the BSBs actually end up being. Priests, I've definitely got several priests on foot. I do have an old metal sculpt that I am pretty sure he at least looks like a priest. I think he might be like an elector count or something like that. I'm not sure. He was just a cool looking metal old Empire model. War Altar, I don't actually have a War Altar. However, I still do have a Celestial Hurricanum that is together that I can just like pop that globy thing off the top, repaint it, and throw something on top of that. And it can very easily be a War Altar. Witch Hunters and Engineers definitely have plenty of those. The War Altar can be like a fun conversion project, I guess. Wizards, I have an abundance of wizards on foot. I have probably like at least 10. I have a couple more. I think I have 4 more new on Sprue. I don't think I have any mounted ones. And obviously don't have a Pegasus one either, but I'm pretty confident that I can put together some conversion of that pretty easily. I think I still have the wizard on Griffin body that I can just throw on a horse and convert up. I do have a wizard on a Griffin, although it was converted with like like the high elf prince on Griffin, so it's like a baby Griffin in comparison to the Empire ones, but I don't think he can be on an Imperial Griffin anyway, so that would kind of work and make sense. So, I mean, as far as characters, I have just an absolute abundance of characters. I'm really not worried about that for this. Um, Looking at my actual troops, I've got a ton of state troops. In Age of Sigmar, it was definitely best for a long time to have sword and shield guys, so I have a lot of those built. I don't actually currently have any spears built. I have probably about 20 halberd guys built. Um, Now, all of this, by the way, pretty much all of this is also painted. So this is just like quickly swap out bases onto something else and we're good to go. I did keep a ton of bits for this. So, if I want to go with spears on these guys, I can just easily pop some arms off and throw new ones on. I'm not sure if I have the spear tip bits anymore, but that is an easy enough thing to uh, figure out a conversion for. I've got a ton of handgunners. I think it's 40. It might be more than that actually. And crossbows, same deal. I'm pretty sure I have at least 20, but I think it might be more like 30. Um, Archers, militia, and knights. I do not have any of those right now. But out of that, all I think I'm really like, I don't think I need militia. Archers seem like they are very good, and the knights I think are just plain necessity. So, like archers are going to be easy enough to pick up, humans with bows that look like they would fit in. Um, the old Empire Knights, I mean, they're still kind of pricey on eBay, so let's see what happens when things circle back around and they actually get their release. Um, as I said, I'm going to be holding on this for a little while anyway. This is just kind of pre-planning and taking inventory and getting ideas. As far as like the special and rare choices, I've got 10 demigriffs built and painted right now. About 30 great swords. I do have a unit of outriders that were like in process of being converted into something else for Age of Sigmar. So like they have their arms ripped off, but I didn't put new arms on them yet. So they are just guys on horses without arms. So the equestrian Special Olympics is basically what they are right now. So they could be Pistoliers or Outriders. Don't have cannons or mortars in my inventory anymore, but those are easy enough to grab things that work for that, or even just the original models. They're not that expensive on eBay. Definitely do have rocket batteries and volley guns. I do have a steam tank. I've got a whole bunch of flagellants, although they are in various states of disrepair. I've got like 10 new on sprue. So, I mean, I can certainly put together like a unit of flagellants. I just don't know exactly how much I can really do with that. So, I think if I really want to run Empire, I'm in good shape. I would really just need to like pick up some knights and archers, and other than that, it's kind of a lot of nice to haves. I think can easily convert like a wizard on a Pegasus, which seems like that's pretty much the go-to thing. Um, it doesn't seem like, uh, unless you want your wizard buffing a unit that they're in, it seems like it's better to not have your wizard in a unit in this edition. So having him on a Pegasus, he'll have 360 line of sight and be really mobile. So that seems like that would be the right choice. Looking at Skaven, I mean, I just have all of the characters for this army that I could possibly want as well. If you're an old world person looking at looking at this, there just definitely is a thing in Age of Sigmar where it is very, very hero heavy on like you just need all the things. So if you want to run a decently balanced list, you need a ton of heroes in most armies. So yeah, that's not really an issue. I think the only thing I may be sort of missing is a battle standard bearer, but I think my chieftains kind of have like a flag on their back. And in any case, that's easy enough to convert something. I have like 80 clan rats, 40 storm vermin, half of them are still new on sprue. Night runners, I do have a box of night runner / gutter runners that are still on sprue, have not been built yet. I picked them up and then did nothing with them. So I might just like if I go this route, well, I mean, I think either way, I'll build them kind of ambiguously so that I can use them for either one. Giant rats and rat swarms. I mean, I don't actually have any of those constructed, but I've got a ton of rats, like the rats that just come on the sprues, which basically are just those. Um, As far as weapons teams, I think all I have is a couple of Rattling guns. The others weren't really ever that great in Age of Sigmar, and Poison Wind Mortars just aren't in Age of Sigmar at all. Um, and then over on our special and rare choices, I do have 4 Rat Ogres. I've got a bunch of things that I've been using for, well, in Age of Sigmar, they're Scryer Acolytes, but Poison Wing Globadiers. But they are not GW models, and they are like, they're rats with guns, which is really, I mean, I feel like that still works. I mean, I have actually have not even noticed. I don't remember what their profile looks like in the old world, so gonna have to see there. I've got a ton of plague monks. I do have plague sensor bearers, but those are really kind of like with my Nurgle army. So is the plague claw catapult. Um, got a bunch of Giselles. Yeah, the only things I'm really missing here are Hell Pit Abominations and Doom Wheels. Um, and I don't know how necessary those are, and they're not, like, it's not enough that I would need to pick up to be like worried about it. So yeah, I feel like I'm in really good shape with either of these armies if I decide to go in that direction, you know, whichever one I want to do. As far as rules go, I'm more inclined towards Empire, and that's it's very much my play style and always has been. Like, just this combined arms, uh, you know, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts kind of vibe is very much my thing. Um, the other thing in um, Skaven is that there's a bunch of other stuff that I have that is just not in the old world at all. Um, the uh, uh, oh geez, Storm Fiends. I mean, might be usable as rat ogres, but I think they're just too big. Like, they're probably not going to fit on that base. And then all of the Vermin Lords, which I was really disappointed that they're not in here. Not sure why they're not, but no Vermin Lords makes me sad, and I have just about all of them. So I don't know. We will see. I think it's possible with like just the sheer amount of Empire stuff that I own. Um, I might still just be able to play Cities of Sigmar and like just split this up. I don't even know. So this has just been me kind of rambling for a little while. I kind of planning Skaven for 4th edition or Legacy Old World. Yes. The answer is yes. Kind of both. Um, I don't really know what's going to happen. So, I mean, I think that's going to just be it for now. This is just me kind of talking to myself and rambling. Yeah. So I'll talk to all y'all later.